Hi guys, it's Anthony Molinaro
and Tim Jagger from O'Brien Real Estate with the 5th edition of the monthly property news for 2022, where real estate information is on the house.
Now before last week's interest rate rise, Tim, the last time Australia had an official interest rate rise from the Reserve Bank was 11 and a half years ago, in November 2010. At that time, the cash rate was increased to 4.75%, and from then we actually had 15 rate cuts, with the last being November in 2020.
Now, just prior to COVID, in 2019, interest rates were cut 3 times, June, July and November. Effectively, the rates were halved by the Reserve Bank in the year. Prior to these cuts, we experienced 70 months where rates were stable and unchanged in the market. In 2020, we saw 2 cuts, one in March and the other in November. The standard variable rate, which basically means the pre-discounted bank rate, prior to COVID was an average 4.7%. And just prior to last week's rate rise, was at 3.75%.
Well, the Melbourne median price for combined dwellings for both homes and units at the end of 2019 was $778,649, and today it stands at $806,144. The interest rate difference between 2019 and prior to last week's increase was 1%. Now, as you can see, the difference in the median prices isn't that much, but there are some different economic challenges that help Melburnians understand why so little. Today we have inflation at 5.1% and not at the 1.6% as it was in 2019, and we have a very tight labour market. There are substantially more household savings, and particularly more for Melburnians after 262 days in lockdown. Now, approximately 25% on average more supply of listings on the market than in 2019, and a lower rate of overseas travellers, students and workers coming into the country.
Some of these new challenges, they help to keep prices stable, while the others counteract price growth. We believe that pricing in Melbourne will be more resilient than other capital cities. Our growth through 2020 and 2021 was much more modest at 8.4% growth over the last 12 months, whereas Brisbane, it sits at 29.3, Adelaide 26.2, Hobart 20.7 and Canberra 20.9. Let's hope the interest rate rise drops the prices at supermarkets and petrol stations before Melbourne's real estate market.
Now, sellers can always be rest assured selling and buying in the same market safeguards you against the peaks and troughs in the market. Now, if rates increase by 1% over the course of this year, we'll see some pullback in demand, but that will be met equally in a squeeze of supply. The market will find its place like it did after the early 2013 to early 2017 boom, when we saw the supply of listings in 2018 and 2019 tighten between 30 and 40% as sellers, they held firm.
The CoreLogic Home Price Index was released for April, and nationally prices rose 0.6%. Melbourne's prices again remained flat with no incline or decline. Melbourne is running 8% above the 5-year average supply of listings, whereas the top performing capital city, Brisbane, are at least 20% short supply of listings. Australia has now enjoyed 19 consecutive monthly increases in home prices. Regional Australia has again had good growth, with the median price for both units and houses rising just over $6,000. Shepparton and top dog towns for a growth recording 3% increase.
Now, looking at the rental market, the quarterly pace of national rents grew 2.7%, which is 9% growth over the last 12 months. For Melbourne and regional Victoria investors, the rental market is very tightly held. Rent price growth momentum continues, with Melburnians and their units now at 8.4% increase over the last 12 months. Well, Domain.com.au reported in April that their rental report that rents are now higher at 53.3% of suburbs and towns in Victoria compared to this time 12 months ago.
And that's all for this month.
I'm Anthony Molinaro.
And I'm Tim Jagger. And remember, the information provided is of a general nature. You should always seek independent legal, financial, taxation, or other advice in relation to your unique circumstances. Thanks for taking the time to watch this month's market wrap. And until next month, it's bye for now.